Ecclesiastes 7. A good name is better than fine perfume, and the day of death is better than the day of birth. It is better to go to a house of mourning than to a house of feasting. For death is the destiny of everyone, and the living should take this to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for a sad face makes the heart better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. It is better to heed the rebuke of the wise than to listen to the song of fools. Like the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of fools. This too is meaningless. Oppression turns the wise into fools, and a bribe corrupts the heart. The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the heart of fools. Do not say, "Why were the old days better than these?" For it is not wise to ask such questions. Wisdom, like an inheritance, is a good thing, and benefits those who see the sun. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves the life of its possessor. Consider what God has done. Who can straighten what he has made crooked? When times are good, enjoy them. But when times are bad, remember, God has made both the one and the other. There is a mystery about human destiny. I have seen everything in this life: a righteous man perishing in his righteousness, and a wicked man living long in his wickedness. Do not be overly righteous, nor excessively wise. Why destroy yourself? Do not be overly wicked, and do not be foolish. Why die before your time? It is good to hold on to one thing, without letting go of the other. For whoever fears God will avoid both extremes. Wisdom makes the wise more powerful than 10 rulers in a city. However, there is no one on earth who is righteous, no one who does what is right and never sins. Do not pay attention to everything people say, or you may hear your own servant cursing you. For in your heart, you know that many times you yourself have spoken ill of others. All this I tested by wisdom, and I said, I am determined to be wise. But this was beyond my reach. Reality is far away and very deep. Who can discover it? So I devoted myself to learning, to investigating, to seeking wisdom, and the reason for things, to understand the foolishness of wickedness and the madness of folly. I found that more bitter than death is the woman who is a snare, whose heart is a trap, and whose hands are chains. The man who pleases God will escape her, but the sinner she will ensnare. Look, says the teacher, this is what I discovered, by comparing one thing with another, to find its meaning. Indeed, during my search, which is not yet complete, among 1,000 men I found only one I consider upright, but among women I found none. So this is my conclusion: God made mankind upright, but they have gone in search of many schemes. This passage from Ecclesiastes invites us to deep meditation on life, time, and wisdom. It challenges some of our most natural assumptions. We tend to think that laughter is better than sorrow, that birth is better than death, and that clinging to the past is wise. However, Solomon teaches us that there is more depth in sorrow than in superficial joy, and that patience and reverence for God are more valuable than extreme righteousness or wickedness. The central idea of this text is that life is full of paradoxes and mysteries that human wisdom cannot fully grasp. The righteous may suffer while the wicked prosper, and we are not meant to demand absolute answers. The true wise person learns to accept both the good and bad days, knowing that both come from God. There is also a strong warning against spiritual arrogance. Neither extreme wisdom nor excessive righteousness guarantees a life free from suffering. The safest path is one of balance and fear of God, avoiding extremes and living with discernment. Another powerful lesson in this passage is the importance of guarding our words and judgments. We often worry about what others say about us, but the author reminds us that we, too, have spoken negatively about others. This teaches us to be more merciful and humble. Finally, the conclusion of the chapter highlights humanity's endless search for meaning and justice, reminding us that although God created people upright, they have chosen crooked paths. The solution is not to try to control everything, but to trust in the Creator and live with wisdom and reverence. May we learn to embrace the mysteries of life with humility and trust in God's wisdom to guide us.